Welcome back to Ms.Shortcut, the place where development history meets modern-day insight. Today, we're heading to one of the flattest, most bicycle-friendly, and economically impressive nations in the world, the Netherlands. From tulips and canals to banking empires and artificial islands, the Netherlands has played a quiet but powerful role in shaping Europe and the world. Get ready to dive into the story of how a small country carved out a big place in global history. The geographic challenge. Let's start with something crucial: geography. Much of the Netherlands lies below sea level. This meant that, for centuries, the Dutch had to fight the sea just to survive. Using windmills, dikes, and an elaborate system of water management, they created usable land, known as polders, turning water into wealth. This is the unique development story for developing countries which has usable land capacity like Turkey. This battle with the sea gave birth to a culture of innovation, cooperation, and long-term planning, three traits that continue to define the Dutch people today. The Dutch Golden Age. The real leap in Dutch prominence came in the 17th century, during what we now call the Dutch Golden Age. After gaining independence from Spanish rule in the late 1500s, the Netherlands transformed into a global powerhouse. Amsterdam became the financial capital of Europe, and Dutch ships ruled the seas. The Dutch East India Company, the VOC, was the world's first multinational corporation and arguably the first to issue stock. It controlled trade routes across Asia and brought immense wealth home. In fact, by the 1600s, the VOC was worth more than Apple, Microsoft, and Google combined, adjusted for inflation. Art also flourished during this period. Rembrandt and Vermeer captured the spirit of the age, while Dutch science and philosophy, like that of Spinoza, pushed intellectual boundaries. Tulip mania and early capitalism. Let's not forget about tulip mania, often cited as the first recorded speculative bubble in economic history. In the 1630s, tulip bulbs were so prized that some cost more than entire houses. But as with all bubbles, the market collapsed overnight. This period gave economists centuries later valuable lessons about speculation and irrational exuberance. This was also the time when the Amsterdam Stock Exchange was born, another first of its kind. The Dutch invented much of what we now take for granted in modern capitalism: banking, insurance, joint stock companies, and financial markets. Decline and Napoleonic era. But no golden age lasts forever. By the 18th century, the Netherlands began to lose its economic and military dominance. Britain and France rose in power, and the VOC fell into decline. In the late 1700s and early 1800s, the country was occupied by Napoleon's forces and restructured into a client state of the French Empire. However, after Napoleon's defeat, the Netherlands regained independence and formed a kingdom under the House of Orange, a monarchy that continues to this day. Industrialization and modernization. In the 19th century, the Netherlands was relatively slow to industrialize compared to neighbors like Germany and Britain. But by the early 20th century, it caught up, building railroads, ports, and factories. Rotterdam became one of the world's busiest ports, a position it still holds today. Agriculture also modernized. Thanks to constant innovation, Dutch farmers turned their small plots into productivity powerhouses. Today, the Netherlands is the second largest exporter of agricultural products in the world, after the US, despite its tiny size. World War II and Reconstruction. World War II was devastating. The Netherlands was occupied by Nazi Germany from 1940 to 1945. Cities were bombed, infrastructure was destroyed, and the population suffered, especially the Jewish community. The most heartbreaking story known globally is that of Anne Frank, whose diary became a symbol of resilience and hope. After the war, the Netherlands joined the Marshall Plan, accepted American aid, and rapidly rebuilt its economy. It also became a founding member of key global organizations, including the United Nations, NATO, and the European Economic Community, which later became the European Union. Dutch welfare state and social model. Post-war Netherlands saw the emergence of a strong welfare state, a blend of free market capitalism and robust social safety nets. Healthcare, housing, public transport, and education were all reformed. The Dutch model promoted equality, innovation, and a high quality of life. The Netherlands became known for its polder model, a term that describes how consensus-based politics and social dialogue are used to resolve conflicts. This approach has allowed labor unions, businesses, and government to work together on long-term goals. Global trade, energy, and Shell. The Dutch economy exploded in the late 20th century thanks to global trade. Companies like Royal Dutch Shell, Philips, and Unilever became international giants. The Netherlands also discovered natural gas in the 1950s in the Groningen field, which provided the country with energy and revenue. However, this led to what economists call Dutch disease, where resource wealth hurts other parts of the economy, such as manufacturing, due to rising currency values. Today, the country is gradually moving away from gas toward renewable energy sources. Modern identity, open, innovative, and green. The Netherlands today is a country of innovation, sustainability, and global leadership. It's famous for its urban planning, cycling infrastructure, and green technology. Dutch architects are among the most sought after in the world. The Netherlands also leads in water engineering, helping countries around the globe design flood-resistant systems. Socially, the country is known for its liberal policies on issues like euthanasia, marijuana, LGBTQ+ rights, and prostitution, reflecting its long-standing tradition of individual freedom. The Dutch education system is also one of Europe's best, and English proficiency is remarkably high, making the country a hub for international students and workers. The Netherlands in the EU and global arena. As a founding member of the European Union, the Netherlands plays a strategic role in shaping European policy, especially around trade, finance, and digital transformation. Its economy is deeply integrated with Germany, Belgium, and the rest of the EU. It supports free markets, but also wants strong environmental standards and human rights protections. Rotterdam remains Europe's largest port, and Amsterdam is still a key financial hub. The Dutch government is pushing for green transition policies and digital innovation to maintain long-term competitiveness. It also plays an outsized role in diplomacy and law, hosting the International Criminal Court and other global legal institutions in The Hague. So, what can we learn from the Netherlands? This small country, once under the sea, has risen to global prominence not by brute force, but through innovation, diplomacy, and trade. Its history reminds us that adaptability, cooperation, and long-term thinking can turn geographic limitations into global strengths. From windmills to stock markets, tulips to tech, the Netherlands continues to show the world how smart ideas can make a big impact. If you enjoyed this shortcut through Dutch history and development, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And next on Ms.Shortcut, we're heading north to a land of endless forests, thousands of lakes, and some of the happiest people on Earth. How did a country with such harsh winters and a small population become a global leader in education, innovation, and social equality? Join us in our next video as we explore the fascinating rise of Finland, from frozen frontiers to a model modern society. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. Ms.Shortcut, your shortcut to the smartest country stories.